Music Legacy International.
Hi, it's Tony from Music Legacy International. Thanks for being with us today. Today's guest, we have Music Legacy member Robert Poe. Thanks for being with us, Robert. Tell us a little bit about yourself, about your career, and what you're doing with your career.
Well, good morning, everybody. As Tony had said, my name is Robert. My career, I've been playing guitar since I'm about 14 years old. I learned 3 chords from somebody who was a friend of the family who gave me my first guitar. And back then, we didn't have YouTube or internet for that matter. So everything that you learned from sheet music. And I found myself playing by ear and learning from sheet music. My career started off when I learned these chords and started progressing, and I started writing songs when I was about 15 years old. And I put the guitar down because things that happened in the family and life was going on, and I really didn't have much interest in that much in music at that time. Although, I mean, playing that is, and my career took off when I was about in my 30s. I started off late after the separation of my wife. I had more time to dedicate to the music. That's when I took off in the music industry. I started playing clubs in Manhattan, doing, free music and, in different places like the Yellow Lounge and places like that there. Open mics. That's what was the word I was looking for. Open mics. We started doing open mics. And so after the open mics, I started to see just where I fit in the scale of who plays good and who doesn't. And I seen that I need a lot of work. So, in that spectrum, I started to practice more and write more and, find about audio equipment and recording and, things like that there. And I started to actually put my stuff on YouTube. I have probably videos back from 1999, 2000 when I put these songs up. What I learned throughout my career is that listening to other people, you get an idea of what you want to do, what the genres are, and what the population is listening to. Because of my breakup with my wife, I got to say, that I was a little depressed behind it. I mean, we were together 15 years, and after breaking up, I was a little depressed about that. And so I started to go over to the blues, playing the blues. I fell in love with SRV, Santana, artists like that there, and I started to drift over to that way, and I started my career off playing blues. At the time, I was looking for a manager, and I was looking to get out into the open where people would recognize my music and I would take off. I thought I was that good. And to form that, I wrote a song called Blue Eye Persuasion, which is also my stage name. And that's the song that propelled me into my career. With that song, I obtained a manager, and my manager introduced me to producers and video producers and directors, and the song caught on, in that environment. From there on, I continued writing. My voice got better. My playing got better. My understanding of writing music and composing got better. I want you to know I never took a lesson in my life playing guitar. Everything I learned on my own. Although I've taken instruments in school, none have compared to playing the guitar. And so, with all this here, I was introduced to directors, and they heard the song, and they wanted me to play a part in the movie or a series they were shooting for HBO called The Familiar. And they wanted to use my song for the series, and also had me playing a gangster in the series. The HBO never followed up after the pilot, so it was ditched. And then I had another, after I put out my first album called Blue Eye Persuasion, Double Vision, I got another director contacted me by the name of Louis Marino. Now, Louis, he played Baby Corleone in The Godfather 2. I know nothing about this until, he explained it to me. And he told me that he was creating a comedy, and he wanted for me to write some of the music for it. And I did, and it was called The Dysfunctional Mob. That's what it was called. And I wrote the theme song for that, and you probably could find that on YouTube, under my channel. And he liked it so much that he asked me if I had any experience in filming and stuff like that. Now, throughout my career, because of funds, I had to make my own videos. So I got pretty familiar with recording myself doing videos. And so I said, well, I could take a crack at it. And a couple of scenes that were from the movie, I was actually in, and I helped direct.
Oh, that's very cool.
Once again, yeah. Once again, you can find those on YouTube as well. So what happened is we never followed through. It fell through, our relationship, for reasons I really not discuss right now. But these are things that propelled my career. So far, I've been a solo artist. I've tried numerous times with other artists to collaborate and to record, but for whatever reason, it didn't work out. I had put out a song last year called Hold Me, and I actually collaborated with a couple of local artists, and actually one from the UK. And that was amazing, because after composing and writing the music and the lyrics, I need a lead guitarist. I mean, I could have done it myself, but I wanted to expand. I wanted to see what would happen if I collaborated with other people.
Right.
And I have to say, this artist, his name is at the moment I can't think of it, but you can find that also on my on YouTube. And he did an excellent job in playing the lead on that guitar. I also had two local artists. One that I've collaborated with years back. Her name is Raisa Cremona, and also another player, a bass player called Jerry Blaze. And both of them excellent in their instruments. Jerry plays the bass, and Risa played the keyboards on the song. I put it all together, and I put the song out. Of course, being the artist doing this on my own, it's hard to get this out to the public. I mean, to local friends and Facebook and things like that. There, YouTube and so all those most social media sites, I put them out there, but the connection is not there, and I think that is because there are so many artists out there doing the same thing, and so hopefully I've joined Legacy International, and I hope that that I'll my music will take off.
Well, Music Legacy International welcomes you with open arms, and there is a lot of things that we have planned for 2025, and we hope to have you be a big part of that.
This is actually the last song that I had written. If We Made Love That Night is actually the last track on my new EP was called My Legacy. I've been creating this for about 2 years now, starting off. And finally, I got the last track on, and hopefully I'll, through Music Legacy International, I'll be able to produce this album and get it out to the public.
Excellent. Okay, great. Good news. Well, this is Tony from Music Legacy International. Thanks so much for watching, and looking forward to have you at our next interviews. Thank you.
Music Legacy International.